So ever since Toon Chaos came out, I've been itching to play with this card, and we went to locals this week, and I'm going to show you the profile which I played. Okay, so straight into the deck. So we play 3 copies of Cypher. This is essentially like the best monster starter in the deck, just simply because it searches these guys. These are sort of like the best cards in the deck, especially now that we've got Chaos Space to be able to sort of like abuse their searching effects, because like previously you'd only resolve one to search like the other, and then the other one would basically do nothing when you hit the grave. But now that we've got Chaos Space to put this back, draw a card, you can then research the first copy that you used, and that gives you a lot of card advantage, especially when you're like paying discard costs and stuff like that for like Ravine and Stormbarrel. So like these are pretty standard for Dragon Link decks. For the Rocket package, I just play 3 Tracer, 2 Silver Rocket, and 1 Recharger. Tracer's obviously like the best one. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about it. To me, it's the tuner he makes the Savage Dragon. Silver Rocket is basically like the best one that like floats, because it's got the sort of like the most impactful effect on destruction. And I think he's also like one of the beasts that you can just like normal summon as well. But then like my favourite one is Recharger. This one's really cool. So its interaction with Striker Dragon basically means that Striker Dragon becomes a monster reborn for any dark monster in your graveyard. And in a lot of the combos you can like use this to like bring back Masquerader and stuff like that. So it's quite really cool. And then for like sort of like extender cards, we played 3 Noctivision and just 1 Absoluta. So Absoluta is like sort of standard. I only play 1 in this version because it's not so much like a pure rocket deck. So like this card is like dead a lot of the time when you draw it, whereas Noctivision's a little bit different, because this one triggers whenever you special summon a Dark Dragon. So it means that Cypher and Wyver Burster can like also trigger its summon. And this card looks, it's essentially like it feels like a danger monster but a dragon, so that obviously fits in really well, gets you into like Romulus and stuff. It's really good. These are also level 7 as well, so these tie in really well with the next card. So because of all these are like level 7, you can actually like search through each of these with Cypher, so that's pretty cool. And Tempest is just a good dragon you can discard off a Dragon Ravine to be a free body. And then we just play 1 copy of Brotor. This is like my main LP target. I don't actually play Red Eyes in the build at all. I just don't really like it anymore now with the errata, but this card is like amazing because it gets you to like all the cool cards. So we play 3 Legionnaire, which is my favourite card in this deck. It's really cool. I think like typically this deck only usually plays 1 of this just to be able to search off the Brotor. I really like 3 because it basically means that because of the format, like the amount of hand traps and stuff people are playing, if you hard open this and your opponent like hand traps your entire combo, if you then drop this and they've like already used like 2 hand traps, and then you get to spin an additional card out like from their hand, it doesn't really matter so much that you didn't make an amazing board, because it's actually just like decreases their chance of them being able to do anything like as well. The fact that like you can recycle this card off a Cypher is like amazing, and I think like this card will get better as well when we get the next set in Battles of Legend, because it just means that we've got easier access to the Chaos Emperor Pros card, and this is like has like sick interactions with that because they're both melody targets. So yeah, we'll definitely be updating this when we get that set. And then for like the sort of like tech sort of stuff, this is sort of like where it becomes sort of suboptimal, I suppose you want to call it. But I decided to play 1 Chaos Creator. I just really like this card. I think it's like one of the coolest cards at the release this year. I think they're really doing well with this sort of stuff, just like they did with Lavinia. Because the problem that the old Chaos monsters had, that these ones don't, is that Chaos monsters like were just not very good going first at all. And then they like sort of brought these 2 out, and this one rips a card out of the hand, and then this one's just like a general extender anyway. So yeah, Creator's really cool, and obviously you can search him off Chaos Space by discarding a light monster. And then I also just decided to play 3 Chaos Valkyria as well. I really like this card as just a generic extender. There's some pretty cool plays that you can do where you can like mill Cypher for like next turn and stuff like that. And in the sort of like optimal combo, you make Romulus and then Masquerader underneath it. So like Masquerader obviously doesn't need any specific requirement for what it's meant to be, so it doesn't really matter that this one isn't a dragon. But yeah, this card's really cool, I like it. This one also comes up as well when you Chaos Space and you already have Wyver Burster because this is the only other target in the deck that's a light monster. So the next sort of like package that I play is just a small Thunder Dragon package. So we play 2 Raw, 2 Dark, 3 regular Thunder Dragon, and then just 1 Thunder Dragon duo. Raw is my favourite one because it's like the broken one with the lore. Summons one straight at the deck, so you get to Dark, and then Dark gets you a search when you link that away. Dark is basically just to be used for that reason. This is also like a good one to be able to allure darkness away. You get a lot of card advantage off that. And then regular Thunder Dragon. This one's sort of like is sort of like the best and the worst one because this deck has like so many discard costs that you need to sort of like pay. So you want to discard a card for Ravine, and then you might want to discard a card for Stormbarrel. So typically in like a Rocket list, you might actually spend your entire hand just to do a combo. But Thunder Dragon sort of mitigates that cost, and it provides light monsters, which the deck is sort of like lacking because the only sort of like light monsters in the engine are Seifert and Wyver Burster. So this card's really good for that. And then I chose to play Thunder Dragon Duo instead of Thunder Dragon Hawk because this is both level 8, searchable off Chaos Space, and this one can also randomly search Chaos Creator when you go second. So this card's really cool. And this is sort of like, this is the stuff that sort of ties the Chaos package to the Rockets, I suppose. Because obviously these are like, all of these are good discard costs because you can just banish these later on for like Levianeer and stuff like that, and they just keep you like they keep your card advantage high, which is what we want. And then just for the spells, so we play 3 Allure of Darkness. Obviously this card's like really good, especially with the Thunder Dragons, and then it's really good as well just to be able to sort of filter out your hand of like sometimes like duplicates and stuff like that. So then the next card is Chaos Space. This is probably the best card you can actually open with. This card's just actually insane. The fact that it can search the little baby dragons, while also obviously like setting them up for summon is like amazing. The fact it recycles them to draw a card, like the draw is what baffles me with this because recycling the monster was already good enough, like, and then it just gives you a 3+ as well. Yeah, this does so much. You can recycle extra deck monsters with this. Because like I've found that when playing this deck that if you're sort of like your opponent sort of like breaks through your initial board or you get into sort of like a grind game, it's really easy to run out of resources in this deck because you sort of throw your entire extra deck out on the first turn. So then the fact that this card can like recycle your extra deck monsters gives the deck a lot more sort of longevity. I can't say enough good things about that card, it's ridiculous. And then we just play 3 Quick Launch, just like a generic extender. It's a good starter card as well because it just gets you to a Tracer. Tracer then can get you to the field spell. And then like this card along with Chaos Space are probably like the best cards that you can draw in games 2 and 3 as well because I side into Lava Golem and Sphere mode, and these obviously provide monsters that you can just special summon, not having to normal summon them. And then the last 2 spells are just 1 Boot Sector and 1 Dragon Ravine, obviously just to search off the link monsters. You don't really want, like, obviously it's just not ideal for you to draw either one of these cards, but then like if you bump this up to 2, then you draw it more often, but you never need to because you can always search it. And then just for the extra deck, so we play 2 copies of Striker Dragon. This is like one of the only cards that I sort of like want to change. I do want to play 3 of this, but there just like isn't room to play a 3rd one. But this card is really important. And then we play Corporal and Delingerous. These are like standard just rocket cards. Come up in all the combos. 1 Triple Burst. This is basically just here to set up a LP combo when you wouldn't usually be able to do it. But this card sort of like comes up less and less in this build, and it's also got like, good in like niche situations where like you can stop like damage to perfection, stuff like that. And then typical sort of like Dragon Link cards, Hieratic Seal. We don't make this as much anymore because we typically just try and make an Appaloosa as like early as possible. But like this card is still good when it comes up. Romulus obviously, Pisty and LP, which are sort of like, these make the deck tick. And then Masquerena and Unicorn. So Masquerena is really cool obviously because of the recharger interaction. So like what will happen is you'll end up with an Appaloosa that's got the Masquerena protection. And then you'll revive this, and then you can either have this on the field to make a Unicorn on their turn, or you can make an Abomination, so you actually get to like use this twice. Appaloosa is really good, stops Nibiru, and you get to make it as well. Not necessarily before you 5th summon, but you make this at a moment where it doesn't actually matter too much if they Nibiru you, because all the stuff that you're going to kill them with is in your hand anyway. So this card's really strong. The Abomination for the Silver Rocket interaction. It's sort of like niche, but there's just like a few different things that you can like do. Like for instance, if your opponent only plays 1 Needle Fiber, that can kill like their entire combo. Even if they play 2, you can actually resolve 2 of these before they actually get to their main phase. So you can actually take away both Needle Fibers. But a lot of the time, if you just take away like their boss monster, then it sort of like takes away their ability to kill you through your board anyway. So it's sort of just like you have to sort of go on the sort of fly with this card. And then the last 2 cards is obviously Savage. You make this on like every board. And then we just play 1 Digirsu. This card's just really strong, especially when you go second. It's pretty cool to just make on your first turn board as well. It just makes it so much less likely that they can crack your board. So yeah, and then now we're just going to go through a few combos. In this hand, I'd always just start with this because then because we've got Chaos Space, they might just waste any permanents or Availer on this, basically trying to make it so that you don't get to the baby dragons. But obviously, just in a test hand, we're just going to assume that it goes interrupted. So then we Cipher and search for a Clap Serpent. And then we can throw out the Chaos Space. And then I'll probably just discard Valkyrie here. And then that lets you add any like Dark Monster that can't be normal summoned or set, so it's either going to be this or Creator basically at this point. I think I'm going to search for Creator because this one is sort of like a better sort of like recovery play if you were to get Nibiru early. And then I'd summon the Collapse Serpent by banishing Valkyria. Valkyria is sort of like weird at the minute because so like right now this would mill like any sort of like light or dark monster in the deck, but because it restricts you from using the effect of that monster, it's sort of like weird about what you want to send. So usually I'll just always send another Valkyria just because it keeps the light count up in the grave. And it's sort of like it doesn't stop you from activating any important cards. But next set, when we get the Battles of Legends set, you can actually use this to mill the Chaos Emperor Pendulum monster, and then you'll be able to sort of like add that back with Cipher, and then just summon it from your hand as a free monster because it's like a summon condition, not an effect. But yeah, so we're at Clap Serpent, so then we just link this away for Striker Dragon. I always put Collapse Serpent as Chaining 1 and then this is Chaining 2, just because the White Burster is much more important than the Boot Sector launch. And then you would special summon the White Burster by banishing the Collapse Serpent. And then this is where you can banish Chaos Space to put back the Collapse Serpent to the bottom of the deck. And then you get to draw a free card. And then from here you would make your Romulus. And now with these chain links you want to go Chain 1 Romulus, Chain 2 White Burster, because it doesn't matter now if the White Burster search gets stopped because we've already like used the Collapse Serpent's effect to like summon itself. So if they were to stop that, it doesn't actually change anything to do with your play. And then obviously the Romulus just gets you the Dragon Ravine. And then from here, you want to activate the Ravine. I'm always going to be discarding this just because I want to banish this at some point with something like the Creator or a Lavinia. But then you've got basically 2 options that you can mill off the Ravine. You can either mill Tempest or you can mill the Absoluta to get to another rocket monster. And then just because of how this hand is, I think I'm going to mill the Absoluta because I think I'm going to drop the Creator now, like right after we've done this, to be able to get into the Appaloosa play. So then the Absoluta searches a rocket monster. I personally always go for recharge because he actually comes up as sort of like a playmaker in the combo rather than Silver Rocket, which is just sort of there to facilitate the Abomination effect. And then from here, I'd be dropping the Creator by banishing probably the Wyver Burster and the Thunder Dragon Dark. That then triggers the Thunder Dragon Dark's effect to be able to search for a Thunder Dragon. Because of sort of like how far we've got so far, I wouldn't be searching Thunder Dragon, I don't think. So I'm actually just going to go for Duo just to have the additional level 8 later on. And then we can use the effects of the Creator to target these three. So then it's going to put 2 of them back to the bottom of the deck, and then it's going to summon the other. So we'll just summon this guy back out because he's good to have in the grave for the next turn, and then it puts the Wyver Burster and the Valkyria back. And then you can link these two off for Masquerena. So like this is sort of like the point where they have to Nibiru if they want to, because these are about to turn into Appaloosa. So just note that if this is where they're Appaloosa, if this is where they drop the Nibiru on you, just look at what you've got left in your hand. So you've still got the Boot Sector play with the Tracer and another monster, so you get the Tracer effect as well. And then you've also got the Duo, so you're not like left with absolutely nothing if they were to Nibiru. So then this is going to be Appaloosa. So she's going to have 2 negates. And then from here you basically just play as just sort of like a regular sort of Dragon Link sort of thing. So then you're going to use Boot Sector. Boot Sector will then summon these two out your hand. And then you can turn this one into Pisty. And then use Pisty's effect to summon the Brotor out of the deck. Brotor then can then target the LP and discard a card. Probably always just going to discard Valkyria because Clap Serpent's pretty good, especially when you've put the Wyver Burster back. And then this is always just going to search for Levianeer. And then from here you would use the Brotor to search for the Pisty, well, summon the Pisty, and then we use Pisty, and then we revive, it can basically be anything as long as it can turn into Striker Dragon. And then here you will link these two away to go into Delingerous. And then you want to use the effect of Tracer to pop the Delingerous to get Silver Rocket Dragon out the deck. And then that will trigger the Delingerous to revive itself. And then from here you're basically just going to make the Savage Dragon. And then Savage Dragon is going to be able to equip a Romulus from the grave. And then you can use this Silver Rocket Dragon to turn into the second copy of Striker Dragon, and then use its effect to destroy itself to add back the copy of Rocket Recharger. Then because the Striker Dragon was destroyed, obviously you can discard the Recharger, and then that lets you revive any Dark monster that's in the grave. So you get to revive the Masquerena. And then from here you can just drop these two out your hand. The Levianeer is just going to banish 3 Darks, and then the Thunder Dragon Duo is going to banish a Light and a Dark monster. And then you overlay these two for Ding. This card obviously like protects your whole board when your opponent's trying to like play through it. And then these two can also go into Unicorn on their turn as well. So you have 2 negates with the Appaloosa. You have a negate, like an Omni negate with a Savage, and then you have a Unicorn on their turn. And like it's important to mention as well that when you've got Appaloosa with Ding, it basically means that they're not going to be able to just run this over to stop it negating stuff, so these negates will actually go through. So yeah, that's just like a quick sort of like going first combo. I think this deck's like a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, and then this deck only gets better with the next set in Battles of Legend as well, when we get like sort of mass access to the Chaos Emperor Pendulum card and the Trish as well, because you can use the Trish to banish the Thunder Dragons. so thanks for watching. I'm really enjoying this deck at the moment. I think it's the deck that I'm going to play for the next few weeks at locals. If I make any huge changes before Battles of Legend, I'll put them in the comments below. And the deck list will be in the description, and be sure to check out our Facebook page, which is also in the description. It's quite funny, just sort of make fun of each other on there really. So yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to catch the next one.